Welcome to Leaving a Legacy, Navigating Estate Planning with Rose Harper Law.
Hello and welcome to Leaving a Legacy, Navigating Estate Planning with Rose Harper Law. I am your host, Kevin Rosenquist. Owner Rose Harper is joining me today, as usual, to discuss digital assets and the modern estate plan. Rose, welcome back. It's great to see you.
Yeah, it's so good to see you as well. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's just dive right in. What exactly are considered digital assets and why do they matter in estate planning here in 2025?
Yeah, it's such an important topic because everyone has digital assets, which are essentially any electronic records that you own or control. So that could include your online bank accounts, email accounts, social media profiles, your subscription services. Everyone has those.
Too many.
Yeah, exactly. Too many to keep track of sometimes. Digital photos. A lot of people don't think about that, but your digital photos, any documents you might have stored on a cloud or something like that, those really matter because our lives are increasingly online and digital. So without proper planning, access to those assets could be lost or delayed. And that causes unnecessary stress for your family. In New York alone, there's over $13 billion in unclaimed property. And that's just one state's example, but every state has unclaimed property. And every online banking institution, wants you to save money by going green. Don't get anything mailed to your house anymore. Get everything, all your notices via email. But if your family doesn't know that or can't access your email, then how are they gonna know that you have that account? Because nothing's getting sent to your home.
Mm-hmm.
Digital assets can really carry significant financial and emotional value, like we talked about with the photographs. And as an estate planning attorney, I help clients to recognize, what do they actually own digitally. That way they can ensure that their wishes are followed through, that their family can find those assets. We do like an inventory where they can list everything and, that they're legally protected. We do a financial wealth inventory and they can include that information on there. That way, nothing gets lost. That's the goal. If you're doing a proper estate plan, have that comprehensive, list of everything that you own, even digital.
Yeah, that's interesting because I feel like people would just automatically assume, oh, this just means like crypto or Bitcoin, things like that, digital assets. But it's so much more than that, as you just listed out. I mean, those are kind of things I would never have thought about.
A lot of people don't. I mean, we don't think about it because it's so easily accessible, like, we just
Right.
have them on our phone and we can access them at any time, but if you wanna pass along, your memories, your photos, and also your high yield savings account that's only online, an online bank, things like that, you definitely wanna make sure that your family knows where they're located and how to access them.
Yeah, it's a good point too, because with more and more people using neobanks and online insurance companies and all this stuff, yeah, you don't have a paper trail like you used to. Yeah.
Exactly.
So what would happen to your online presence, like social media, email, etc., if it isn't included in your estate plan?
So, a lot of times, if you don't include things like this in your estate plan, then your family members can face some real hurdles, both legally and emotionally, trying to handle that on your behalf. Most platforms have strict privacy policies and terms of service that actually prevent your family members from getting access or managing your accounts, even after death or incapacity. So that could mean that important communications, photos, or even, evidence of your financial assets could be lost. So, I've heard of families who have been struggling for months trying to recover certain assets and accounts. So, definitely planning ahead and including this as a part of your estate plan, considering those digital assets and accounts really protects your family, from unnecessary heartache.
So what are the steps then that people would take to help their loved ones access digital accounts, if something were to happen?
So one of the things that, we help all of our clients do as a part of their estate planning process is to actually create an inventory. So, like, I think of it like as an estate planning attorney, it's almost like, everyone knows that you should do this, right? Like, everyone knows, like, "Oh, yeah, I should get organized, I should list this out," but it's like, "No, you need to take the time to do it. We're already going through this process." So, I have my clients create this inventory, where they actually write down all of their digital assets. What company are they with? What are the account information? Your email addresses, your cloud services, your financial accounts, social media, like I talked about, the digital subscriptions, your investments. And then, you want to also document who you would trust to have that information to access those accounts on your behalf if they need
Yeah.
to.
Also
Um,
important.
yeah,
The right
exactly.
person. Yeah.
Yes. So, you can make all of those choices and include it in a durable power of attorney or your will. But that way, you have this security of knowing that this person is going to be the person who's going to manage those accounts for you. You can even include the passwords to the accounts. I mean, obviously, that's something you would have to update over time if you end up changing your passwords.
Sure.
Um, but
Or adding new accounts and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
adding new accounts. So, it is estate planning is one of those things where it's only effective if it's accurate to your current
Hmm.
life. So updating it over the years and, providing those login credentials. But we definitely, what we like to do is help clients not only identify and secure their information, but really like integrate it as a part of their overall comprehensive estate plan so that everyone in their family is protected.
So going back to the digital inventory you mentioned, how do you help clients create that during the estate planning process? What kind of questions do you ask? How do you categorize stuff? How does that all work?
Yeah, so it's one of those things, honestly, like, I think a lot of people feel overwhelmed by doing it,
Yeah.
because it kinda just feels like, "Well, I don't even know where to start." Like, I have accounts everywhere, I have subscriptions to
Stuff's everywhere, right? That would be a
everything.
long task.
So what we do is we try to like categorize everything. So you have digital assets, financial, personal, maybe business related things. But they can look at each category and just start there. And that way, their assets are organized, everything. It's a process. So
Mhm.
just kind of getting the categories organized and then working from there can help them to accomplish it more easily. And we provide our clients with, secure worksheets that they can fill out. That way it's all organized for them.
And then you have, more of those sentimental digital assets, like you mentioned, cloud photos, video messages, that kind of stuff. I mean, is that part of that inventory?
Absolutely. I feel like, the sentimental digital assets are obviously the most meaningful. Like, we work really hard for our assets, but those memories, even like a video of your voice, a digital journal, things that you might have that you want to preserve. Something that we do is called a legacy interview. And even if you might be someone who actually doesn't take a lot of photos or you don't have that sentimental piece, we provide our clients with questions that if they want to, we'll actually create a video for them and include that on a thumb drive that we provide them with digital copies of all of their estate planning documents, and they can have that video legacy interview, or if they prefer to actually type out responses, they can do that too. But that way they're answering like value questions and giving their family like beyond just legal authority or saying what they want to happen. You're actually like giving them this memory of you.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of the emotional, sentimental piece that we do with all of our estate planning clients. If they want it, it's
Sure.
optional. Some people choose not to.
Well, I mean, I'm podcast host, so I'm all over the place. My
Yeah,
kid will have no problem finding my voice.
yeah, exactly.
And I
No,
talk a lot too, so sure it'll be jammed in his memory. You mentioned how it's overwhelming to handle this whole digital estate planning thing, and especially probably I would imagine with maybe older clients. Although I suppose younger clients probably have more digital footprints, so it's probably even harder for them. So how do you support them? How do you help them when they have that sort of, overwhelmed vibe about them?
Yeah, I think that it's totally normal to feel overwhelmed by estate planning in general, but then
Sure.
also tackling this project of digital assets. So the what we really think of our job at Rose Harper Law is kind of helping people to manage the process and empowering them to actually get organized and complete their plan. So, we just kind of try to break it down into simple, actionable steps. We provide them with the tools and guidance they need to get this done. That way they can feel confident that, this is important, that, what they're doing is going to be helpful for their family. And normally after that, people say, like, they have such a peace of mind now. It actually helped them to get organized for their day to day life now.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I could see that.
it can help you, like, reflect on, like, "Wait, why why am I spending money on this?" Or,
Yeah,
"Why am I even keeping this random account here? Let me just consolidate
yeah.
things," and,
When was
you
the
know
last time I watched this streaming service? I can't. I didn't even realize I had it. So yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes, well, my six-year-old is notorious for, Amazon Prime allows you to, like, do a free trial or something, but then after that, it starts charging you per month, and it'll always get my son with, like, a new movie that just came out or something like that, and so he'll ask me, like, "Oh, mom, can I watch, Sonic or whatever?" I'm like, Yeah, sure, you can watch Sonic," but I didn't know that it was a part of this new subscription.
Uh,
Oh, yeah. So that's a fun one when you find
you
that
got to get
out.
a kids account.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I do, but, sometimes, he'll be on mine or something like that,
They're
so
smart too. Mine's 4.5 and figured that stuff out.
yeah, exactly.
So what does it look like from the bank accounts and stuff? If someone's parents pass away or mother or dad passes away and they have no digital record of the digital bank accounts or any of that kind of stuff. Like, what is that process? How do you get the information when you don't have that plan you're talking about?
So, I mean, they're gonna have to figure out how to well, hopefully, they're getting some type of mail to their home.
Mm,
Usually, like, you get mail in, or they can get access to the cell phone, like, it's really literally like a step-by-step process,
yeah.
so if someone comes to me, there is a process through the surrogates court, through probate, you have to give proper notice, like public notice that someone has passed, and that's also a way where you can, gather information about where assets are located and usually debts. And the other thing is that companies are obligated in certain situations to actually notify the next of kin and send
Oh,
out letters. So that's another way, but it's a really long process. Like
yeah.
if you don't know where to start or you don't have any information at the beginning, it can be really overwhelming. But we certainly help people with that every day. And, we're here to help people to get clarity and get organized. And that's what we do.
Yeah, I could see that you brought it up. You said step by step. It's not whereas instead of having everything in one place with like a plan, like a estate plan, you have to start with, okay, I need access to the phone. Okay, I need access to the email. Okay, I need to figure out where the bank accounts are. Okay, I need to figure out where what debt's there. It's just like you said, it's step by step by step, piecing all of this information together rather than just having it in front of you, all in one place.
Yes, and, you'll look at tax returns and,
Mhm.
usually, the older population will have, hard copies of things, so you have to locate those.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. I can't believe my dad still has the filing cabinet that he has, with all this stuff in it. So for anybody who might want to get started on this, their estate plan as a whole, but focused on their digital assets, before they were to reach out to you, what kind of ducks and how can they get their ducks in a row? What should they have prepared?
Honestly, before people meet with us for the first time, they don't have anything organized or set forth. We do have like an intake process. So in that process, you're going to start getting organized.
Mhm.
And so you can really just reach out. You can schedule with one of our attorneys for a consultation. We then send an intake form that kind of gets you going on that process because it starts you to document and think about, like, well, what's our family dynamic and what do we even have? And, a lot of people also don't realize, like, everyone thinks like, "Oh, maybe it feels like you're living paycheck to paycheck or you don't have a big savings. But once we actually document all of the assets that you really have, people are pleasantly surprised. Like you actually have a lot that you're passing down to the next generation.
Right.
And, it's worth preserving it and making sure that it's secure. So it's actually it's a really nice process. I'm so happy to help people with it. So
With crypto, I don't know how much you know about how deep in crypto you are, but like there's like passkeys and all sorts of crazy secretive stuff in order to access wallets and all that stuff. I mean, there's only so much you can do with that, right? I mean, I don't even really know how that would work.
yeah, well, with a lot of them, it's really important that you like cannot forget your password or your
Right.
account
Yeah.
information. So definitely securing that, documenting it, and including that with your estate plan is essential.
Yeah, that's definitely something that people need to think about if they do have any sort of digital assets like that, like crypto and stuff like that. And that you have to be well prepared. And while you're at it, figure out the rest of it.
Yes, it
Yeah,
should be a comprehensive plan that includes everything.
there you go. All right. Okay, well, thank you for tuning in to Leaving a Legacy, Navigating Estate Planning with Rose Harper Law. To connect with Rose and the team, head to roseharperlaw.com. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We love having you here. We got lots more great information coming your way. Rose, it was so good to see you again. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. This was great.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.